Right, so Keith Barry, it's great to chat to you again. I remember the first time we started doing all these interviews and stuff, you were my very first guest, which was like maybe 2.5, 3 years ago. So
I
it's
remember.
come full circle. Yeah, it's mad. It's come full circle again. You're coming back to us the 11th of June in the Gleneagle INEC Arena. It must be fantastic to be able to put back live shows again, put them on stage.
Look, I'm really excited. It's the favorite part of what I do. And I suppose people don't recognize, I've been on a stage since I'm 14 years old. So that's when I started performing on a stage. And realistically, there hasn't probably been a week since then that I haven't been on a stage up until the last 2 years. So the last time I was on a stage was March 12th, 2020, and that was in the Olympia. I was playing to a packed house. So it's just so weird to have not been on a stage for this long. And my two favorite venues by a long shot in Ireland are the INEC and also the Olympia. So look, I'm really excited to get back down there to the INEC because we always have the crack. We always have a good night. So I'm just excited to get back on tour.
It must be weird for you coming back this time because always I remember, as long as I remember you coming to Killarney, it's always been like the 1st or 2nd of January. That's
Yeah.
always when you've been in Killarney. So now you're here like in the middle of summer, like so. Is it going to be a different experience? Will you be coming down in your shorts and t-shirt to us?
Well, I hope so. Yeah, like the weather is there for sure. I haven't looked at the diary as to where I am the following night. So I'm hoping that I have the following night off. So the following night off, I'll be going for a swim down around there somewhere, either in the lake or I'll go off down to the beach somewhere down in Kerry. Or, for me, look, I'd love to get a couple of days break after the show down there if I can. I actually think I'm in Ballina the night before. So I've got to get from Ballina down to Killarney, which is obviously a bit of a trek. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But look, just really excited to get down there. And if I could get away with it, I'd go on stage in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that now because I want to talk about your brand new show. It's called Reconnected, and you're doing a massive
Mm.
nationwide tour this year. There's dates all over the country, but most importantly, you're coming to Killarney again. So, can you tell us what the show is about and what kind of inspired you to come up with the name?
Well, look, it's an obvious choice for me. Way back when I designed the show, I thought, well, look, we all need to reconnect. I just didn't think it'd be as long as it's been when I was writing the show. So in the show, I will be reconnecting people emotionally, physically, spiritually. It's going to be a really interesting show from that perspective. So, for example, Carl, at the very start of the show, I'm going to teach half of the audience. So let's just imagine for a minute that there's 1,800 people in the INEC. 900 of them are going to turn to the people that they're with, the other 900, and hack into their brains. So they're going to tell them innermost secrets that they couldn't possibly know about that person. So that's going to be an immediate reconnection right there and then on a subconscious level. Now, the interesting thing about that is I know people out there listening to this might be thinking, well, I'm definitely not going to go to the show because I've got something to hide, right? So don't worry about that. It's only a focused thought that the other person can figure out and hack. So you've got to give that permission. But I've never done that before, Carl. I've never kind of exposed or shared my secrets as to how you can do this stuff. So that's going to be really interesting. Then I've got a whole piece designed around automatic writing. So automatic writing is something that used to happen in the spiritualist movement back in the 1800s, whereby a psychic would go into trance and then they would apparently make contact with the other side and come back with messages from dead loved ones. So I've got that kind of bizarre, dark material in there as well. I always put up a disclaimer so that people don't get their nose out of joint. I don't believe in psychics. I don't believe you can contact the other side, but I'm going to do it anyway, right? So there's that in there. Then I've got this crazy effect with a crossbow. So I'll be shooting arrows across somebody's head on stage and the arrows be zipping across their head. And then the end of the show is the most emotionally charged ending to a show that I've ever designed. Like to the extent that there won't be a dry eye in the house in the INEC. Even the skeptics are going to be like so overwhelmed with emotion, but it'll be feel-good factor. That's what I want people to know. So look, it's designed to make people laugh until their face hurts. It's designed to push them over the cliff edge with darker material and have a little look over the edge, but I'll always pull them back so you know you're all safe, and then go out just with that feel-good factor at the ending. And for me, look, this is all about escapism, right? We need to escape all the craziness that's going on in the world right now. So for that 2 hours, you'll enter into a world where anything and everything can happen.
Where do you come up with a lot of the ideas for your shows? Because the idea of you shooting a crossbow across the INEC, I mean, does did that just pop into your head one day walking the dog, or is it something that you actually put a lot of thought into and try to execute it?
Well, it's a good question, right? So I haven't cleared this with the INEC yet, so I'll just be doing it on the night, regardless whether they clear it or not, right?
I won't tell anyone. So
no. So for me, I literally have a cabin in the back garden, and I go out to the cabin, and every now and then I'll take a shot of absinthe, and I'll just close my eyes and listen to binaural beats and see what comes into my head. So all kinds of madness comes into my head, and I just jot it down. And every day I jot stuff down, and then I just think about the theme of Reconnected and what I think people need to feel. Because look, anybody who's been to my shows knows, it isn't just about magic. It isn't just about mentalism. It's about feelings. I want the audience to feel certain emotions at certain parts in the show. So that moment there with the crossbow, I just was sitting in the cabin. I was thinking, okay, I want a dramatic moment where people feel like related to that one person on stage, where I'm shooting a crossbow, like literally an arrow across that person's head, and that's somebody like at random from the audience, right? So it could be you, it could be your mother, your brother, your sister, and I want everybody to connect with that person in that moment in time and feel what they're feeling on that stage, which is fear, but also excitement, right? Because they know it's a trick, but then they know that there's going to be an arrow shot across their head. So for me, it's all about feelings, and I start there. So I always start with the theme of the show, and obviously the theme here being reconnection, and then kind of backtrack down from that. But most of the work is done out in the cabin, just sitting there, just jamming out ideas all on my own,
It's great to see you back on the television again, Keith. Your brand new show just aired this weekend gone, the Keith Barry Experience. So it must be great to be back doing television, because obviously you've done TV for a long time, back a couple of years ago. So how does it feel to have your own show back on television again?
Yeah, great. It's like relearning an old skill set, right? It's been so long since I've created television, but it was exciting as well. And look, the show's been very well received. This Saturday night, we've got Una Healy on the show. She was great fun to work with, great crack. And we've got actually a reconnection theme going on this weekend as well. So it's a real synergy between what we're talking about. So at the end of this week's episode coming up, I'm going to reconnect two people who haven't seen each other in 3 years in a very magical way. So look, it's great to be back doing television, but like, truth be told, it's in my DNA, as I said, to be on a stage. So my first love is standing on a stage. And here's why, because look, even with the TV show being well received, people at home are thinking, has he met these people before? Are they stooges? Are they plants? And they're logical questions for people to ask, because they don't understand what I do, right? But when you come to a live theatrical experience, such as in the INEC, when people are being picked at random, that it's real. You know that when you land on stage, it's real. So for example, right now, people listening or watching, we haven't set anything up, Cathal, have we?
No, not at all. No.
You have no idea what's about to take place at this exact moment in time, do you?
I haven't a clue. I'm a bit worried, but no, I don't.
But don't be worried. So here's the idea. Look, I've got a chalkboard here. You can see it there, yeah? Okay, so I want you to imagine that you're back at school and you've got a chalkboard just like this, and I want you to choose any age you want. I don't mind. So in your head, just choose an age. Don't say it, just think it. And I want you to imagine that you're up at the blackboard, or you've got a blackboard in your hand, and you look around the room and you just see somebody right now in this exact moment in time. You see somebody that perhaps you haven't thought about in, like, I don't know, 15, 20 years, maybe 30 years in my case, but ultimately you see somebody and you just write their initials on the blackboard in your head. Okay, so look at me. Imagine just that you're writing the initials of this person. Okay, I'm just going to write something down. Good. So I've committed myself. I've written down a set of initials out loud. Name out loud. What are the initials of this person that you're thinking of?
DP.
DP, yeah. So who's DP?
DP, Derry Pine, was my 6th class teacher, and he was also the principal of my school when I was in 6th class.
Ah, so you thought of the principal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's so interesting that you thought of the principal and not one of your classmates. So I was actually thinking that you would pick one of your classmates and not a principal. That's so interesting that you thought of that. So the question is, do you think I could have known in advance and written down DP here on the board?
Absolutely not.
And this board has been in full view the whole time. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's the crazy thing. Look, I didn't get the full initial, but I just wrote down D.
Oh, wow.
Right? And that's been in full view the whole time. So you could have went with anybody at all, but you went with D for him, for his first initial. That's so interesting to me that you went with that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that man in how many years? 20 years, maybe less.
20 years.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But here's the crazier thing, right? I want you to imagine just for a second that you're back at the blackboard. Let's say now that we've got a mild connection, as I would say, I feel like I can go further with you. I can go a little bit deeper. So I'm just going to write down a number, a 2-digit number on my blackboard. Okay, good. I think I've got this. Name out loud. What number are you thinking of? Go. 2-digit
13.
number. 13.
13.
13. That's crazy that you said 13. I don't know why you said 13, but that's exactly what I wrote down on my blackboard.
I don't know how you do it, Keith, to be honest. 20 years watching you, and I haven't a clue yet. It's absolutely brilliant. We're looking forward to having you back. It's the 11th of June. It's going to be a fantastic night back in Killarney, and we're looking forward to having you back, Keith. Thank you very much.
And you'll go into a deep hypnotic trance on the night. I'll see you there.
You did this last time, years ago. I was there on stage. I was about 15, and you brought me up on stage and hypnotized me. But that's a long time ago.
I actually remember that. So this is the return visit. It's time for you to come back on stage and go into a deep hypnotic trance.
Yeah, this is my return.
You'll reconnect with your inner self on the night. You never know.
Oh, I could learn a lot about myself. That's true. Keith, thank you very much. We'll chat to you next time. Good luck. Thank you.
Thanks.